Homelessness in the United States is becoming an urgent and controversial issue. According to a report by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, by 2023, about 650,000 people will be living on the streets, in shelters, or in emergency accommodation. But what is really going on? Why is the number of homeless people increasing in a developed society like the U.S.? Every night, hundreds of thousands of people struggle with cold, hunger, and loneliness. They are not only unemployed or mentally ill, but also include families with young children, veterans, and people who once had stable lives. How did a wealthy country like the US allow this to happen? One of the main causes of homelessness is the increase in rents, while many people's incomes are not enough to meet them. Why are rents so high? Is it a lack of affordable housing? There are other factors at play, such as illness, addiction, and lack of family and community support. This situation is not only shocking to society, but it also makes us question how America's social system works. Why are we failing to help those in need? Perhaps ignorance and stigma around homelessness are contributing to the problem. The statistics may shock you. 17% of the homeless are children. They face malnutrition, abuse, and lack of educational opportunities. How can a society accept millions of children living in this situation? You may ask, what can we do to change this? How can we find a sustainable solution to homelessness? This is not only the responsibility of the government but also of each individual in society. Together we can make a difference. Let's think about homelessness in America and join in finding solutions to help those in need. We can be part of the story that changes their lives. Here are the top cities with the most homeless people. Starting with San Francisco, this iconic city is not only famous for its magnificent landscapes but also for being home to an estimated 7,082 homeless people. A heartbreaking figure that ranks the city as having the 10th largest homeless population in the United States. While San Francisco is globally admired for its glittering Golden Gate Bridge and its proximity to Silicon Valley, the heart of technological innovation, behind the glamorous picture lies deep-rooted, indelible social problems. The huge cost of living, largely due to ever-escalating real estate values and rents, has made San Francisco one of the most expensive cities in the world. Amidst the glittering prosperity, a bitter paradox emerges. As wealth has exploded, the homeless crisis has become more severe, with thousands struggling to find shelter in the very city they once called home. Next, we head to Sacramento, the capital of California. A place known for its governmental importance, rich cultural history, and peaceful natural beauty. Although considered more affordable than other major cities in the state, Sacramento is not immune to the painful undercurrent of a growing homeless problem. With an estimated 9,281 homeless people, the city ranks 9th in the nation in terms of homeless population size. Despite a lower cost of living than San Francisco or Los Angeles, Sacramento still faces a severe housing shortage, creating a heartbreaking reality. People who once dreamed of a peaceful life are now living on the cold streets, as the city fails to provide enough shelter. Social challenges weigh heavily on Sacramento, and homelessness deepens the collective pain of a community facing deprivation, even in the heart of a place known for its beauty and cultural richness. Then we come to Phoenix, Arizona, which has an estimated 9,642 homeless people, ranking 8th on the list of U.S. cities with the highest homeless population. Phoenix is a popular tourist destination known for landmarks like the Desert Botanical Garden and Camelback Mountain, but behind the scenic photos lies a heartbreaking and regrettable reality. Economic inequality and the soaring cost of living have contributed to the city's homelessness crisis. The housing shortage is becoming increasingly severe. Affordable housing has become out of reach for many low-income people, leaving them with nowhere to go. To make matters worse, Arizona is facing a devastating opioid epidemic. More than 2,000 state residents have died from opioid overdoses, a crisis fueled by the terrifying rise of fentanyl, a powerful synthetic opioid. According to the Arizona Department of Public Health, an average of 5 people die every day from overdoses. This alarming trend not only adds to Phoenix's crisis, but also stirs frustration and helplessness in the community. Every day, residents watch as public health and lives are crushed by the homelessness and opioid crisis. It's a cruel reality, a painful cycle that not only Phoenix, but many other cities across the country are struggling to find a way out of. But there seems to be no way out. Let's shift our focus to Oakland, California, a city just east of the San Francisco Bay. Oakland is known for its colorful cultural diversity, endless creativity, and bustling port, one of the busiest in the world. But beneath the vibrant surface lies a different, heartbreaking reality. What's hidden? Homelessness is one of the most pressing issues facing the city. Approximately 9,759 people are homeless, making Oakland the seventh city in the United States with the highest number of homeless people. Sadly, skyrocketing housing prices have pushed many residents out of their means, leaving them with no choice but to live on the streets. You can feel the stark disparity when you drive through wealthy neighborhoods like Piedmont, where luxury homes line the streets, while in East Oakland, homeless tents line the sidewalks in stark contrast. One local property manager even said that the sight of RVs parked around apartment buildings has startled many potential tenants, creating a major challenge for the real estate business in the area. It is a vivid reminder of the growing divide between those who have made it big and those who are struggling to survive. Can the city find a way out of this injustice and pain? Let's take a look at San Jose, the heart of Silicon Valley, where tech giants like Apple, Google, and Facebook were born and thrived. But what lies behind the glitz of a billionaire city? It's heartbreaking that San Jose, a city that's been heralded as a beacon of tech prosperity, is home to an estimated 9,903 homeless people, making it the sixth largest homeless city in the United States. There's a heartbreaking paradox. While some of the world's richest billionaires call this place home, thousands of people are living on the streets. Housing prices in San Jose have skyrocketed to unimaginable levels, with a median price exceeding $1 million, making it one of the most expensive housing markets in the country. This has pushed many low-income residents, from service workers to teachers to government employees, into homelessness or forced them to move out of the city in search of more affordable housing. A sobering picture emerges when you compare the glitzy offices of tech companies with the dark corners where homeless people live in makeshift shelters. San Jose's housing inequality has created a stark divide. On one side is the immense wealth of Silicon Valley, on the other side are people struggling to survive. The burning question is, can the city find a solution to this widening gap, or will wealth remain a distant dream for many? Next on the list is Denver, the capital of Colorado. A place surrounded by breathtaking natural beauty with the majestic Rocky Mountains as a backdrop. But behind that natural beauty lies a heartbreaking reality. Denver has a homeless population of 10,054 people, ranking fifth among U.S. cities struggling with this crisis. So what has led a beautiful city like Denver to face such a tragic situation? Experts agree that to solve homelessness, building housing must be the main focus. Yet Colorado is facing a housing crisis that is more severe than ever. The state currently has a shortage of nearly 70,000 units, making it one of the seventh largest housing shortages in the country. Can you imagine how rising rents and rising property values could leave many people without a roof over their heads? Denver, a city known for its vibrant streets, is seeing heartbreaking stories of people struggling to find shelter. The housing shortage has pushed many into homelessness, exacerbating the crisis the city is already facing. Is there a way out of this crisis for Denver, or will the city forever be divided between those who have everything and those who have nothing? Next up is San Diego, a city known for its ideal climate and stunning beaches that seems like a dream for everyone. But did you know that beneath the charming exterior of this coastal paradise lies a serious social challenge? San Diego is currently home to an estimated 10,264 homeless people, making it the fourth largest homeless city in the United States. What has led to this situation? San Diego's appeal to tourists and retirees has been accompanied by a rising cost of living, pushing many long-time residents to the brink of poverty. One heartbreaking story is that of Tracy Bennett, a 54-year-old woman who has been forced to move her tent and belongings countless times as city workers routinely clear out roadside camps. Although she found a temporary shelter near the famous Gaslamp Quarter, the government notices her to leave after 7 years on the streets. "We're not bad people," Tracy shared with tears in her eyes. "We're just in a bad situation." Her words resonate, reflecting the deep frustration felt by many in her situation. Tracy believes that efforts to clear homeless camps are a waste of resources, not a real solution to the problem. Will the government listen to people like Tracy and find a solution to the homeless crisis? Or will it forever leave the tragic fates hidden behind beautiful beaches? Next, we head to Seattle, home to 14,449 homeless people, making it the third largest homeless population in the United States. Known as a hub for technology and innovation, with giants like Amazon and Microsoft headquartered here, Seattle's rapid economic growth has been accompanied by an alarming homelessness crisis. Paradoxically, the city's wealth, fueled by a booming tech industry, stands in stark contrast to the growing number of people living on the streets. One heartbreaking story in the fight against homelessness in Seattle is that of Cara Bernstein. Like many others, Cara found refuge in a place called the Jungle, a shelter under a notorious freeway where living conditions were harsh and often feared by many. Despite the dangers around her, Cara felt safe there after years of living on the cold streets. She appreciated the sense of community the jungle provided, a form of security that is hard to come by elsewhere. This image highlights the complexity of homelessness in Seattle. Despite efforts to provide shelter, many people still find solace in dangerous and unusual living conditions. Can the city find real solutions to change the lives of people like Cara, or will it continue to leave tragic fates in the shadow of technological prosperity? Move to Los Angeles, California, where the homelessness crisis is more serious than ever. With 71,320 homeless people, the city is ranked as having the second largest homeless population in the United States. Often hailed as the entertainment capital of the world, Los Angeles faces a sobering reality. The rising cost of living is leaving many struggling to find affordable housing. Between 2020 and 2023, the homeless population increased by 12%, a clear sign that local government efforts are not enough to address the crisis. One of the most notorious areas in Los Angeles is Skid Row, a place synonymous with homelessness. Here, wooden shacks line the streets and makeshift homes are squeezed next to industrial buildings. It is heartbreaking to see some homeless residents drawing electricity from nearby streetlights to power their makeshift shelters. While the city has attempted to provide housing for nearly 60,000 homeless people, many have refused assistance, choosing to remain independent even while living in precarious and unsafe conditions. The divide between the wealthy residents of areas like Beverly Hills and the homeless on Skid Row is a stark reminder of the city's deep social inequalities. Los Angeles's homelessness problem is compounded by the crime, particularly gang violence, that has plagued the city since the 1970s. Notorious gangs like the Crips and Bloods continue to plague some areas, especially South LA, where drug and gun violence remain a persistent threat. Can Los Angeles find a way out for those living on the margins, or will it continue to leave its most beautiful city in ruins? Homelessness has become one of the most visible and urgent issues, raising questions about the responsibility of both the community and the government to build a more equitable future for all. Finally, we come to New York City, often called the Big Apple and the largest city in the United States. Yet beneath the bright lights of its skyscrapers and bustling life, the city bears an undeniable burden. With more than 80,000 homeless people, New York now holds the unfortunate title of having the largest homeless population in the country. New York's reputation as a land of opportunity is overshadowed by its growing homelessness crisis. The city has long been a destination for immigrants, people who leave their homes in search of a better life. They come from all over the world: Colombia, Chad, Burundi, Peru, Venezuela, and Madagascar, with dreams of hope. But when they arrive in New York, many of them find only a harsh, heartbreaking reality. Although the city is legally obligated to provide shelter to anyone who asks, the influx of nearly 100,000 people last year alone has overwhelmed the shelter system. Places like the Roosevelt Hotel have become makeshift centers, but they are not enough to meet the demand. Outside the reception centers, migrants who have just arrived sleep on the sidewalks, waiting for a chance at temporary shelter. The city's shelter system is showing significant signs of strain, while rising homelessness coupled with declining federal and state support has left New York struggling to keep up with the demand for housing and basic services. This has led to a humanitarian crisis in one of the world's most famous cities. Who will step up to help those in this dire situation? This question is not simply a matter of policy, but also a poignant reminder of our responsibility to those around us who are struggling to find a brighter future in a city full of hope.